Welcome to the Lyris HQ Essential Edition walkthrough, Part 2. In this video, we will review the following elements: creating a list of contacts, adding contacts to the list, segmenting the list, and creating and sending an email message. So I click Email Marketing to display the options. Let's assume we want to start a new list of contacts. So let's click Lists. Click Add List. Give it a name. Now it's asking me for a sender name and a reply to address. Note the little help icons next to the box. You'll find these throughout Lyris HQ to help provide explanations if you're not sure what something means. I understand what it means, so let's type in a sender name and a reply to address for any emails that get sent out to this list. And click OK. Let me point out a couple of things you will see throughout most of Lyris HQ. First, if I hover over my new list, a bunch of options appear. Okay. This ability to take action in context makes it much faster and easier to get things done with Lyris HQ than with any other email application. I also have the ability to expand or collapse the chart at the top. In this case, I don't have too much data to display there, so I'll leave it collapsed. Now let's add some contacts, people, to this list. Hover over and click Add Contact. I'll add a few folks that I know. First, Jessie McKee. And she is active, which means she will be receiving email. And let's add another one. John Bennett. And there they are. I won't go deeper into it in this demo, but Lyris HQ also makes it very easy for you to upload an existing list of people, their email addresses, and further information about them into the system as you continue to build your lists or start new lists. Now we have their email addresses in the system, and that's all we need to begin sending. If I click on Contacts, I can see the members of the list. Now, many of you will want to segment your list to make sure you get the most relevant messages to the right target group. Lyris HQ Essential Edition makes this easy for you. Here's how. You segment by choosing attributes. Let's add some attributes to the list so we can segment. So let's click More Actions, Manage Attributes. By default, new list members must have at least one attribute, their email address, of course. Let's add more. So we add first name, last name, and age. We'll change those attributes from disabled to enabled, or we could change them individually on the right here. See how they moved from disabled to enabled? Age is a preset drop-down list, but you always have the ability to define custom attributes if you don't like the ones that come as defaults with Lyris HQ. So I click OK, and there you go. Now if I choose to edit one of the existing contacts we just entered, I'll edit John Bennett. We have the ability to set attributes for that contact. And we also get to see a history of emails that contact received. I'll do the same thing for Jessie. Of course, if you have a list of any size, you will probably be uploading lots of contacts, perhaps from a spreadsheet or a text file, with the attributes already included in your data set. It's very easy to do. Now, before we create a message, let's take a quick look at one of the most powerful elements of Lyris HQ Essential Edition, our advanced segmentation capabilities. While you may not use all the capabilities of this feature to start, it's a great example of the depth of this tool and why you won't outgrow it as you begin to optimize your programs. So I click Segments. Now I've never created a segment before, so I click Add Segment. Now we have to give it a name. Let's call it 30-somethings. There we go. So let's add a condition to help create a segment. In this case, we will segment by the age attribute. So we'll segment by the age attribute, select age. Now Lyris HQ is intelligent. It knows what attributes you have set for the list, and it makes it easy for you to create the perfect segment. So now I have an age-based segment, and we'll say whose age is equal to 30 to 39, the 30-somethings. We could add further conditions. For example, I could add an activity condition to find people who are 30 to 39 and who were sent a particular message. By grouping segments and using logical operators, you can do some very powerful list segmentation with Lyris HQ Essential Edition. And the more you segment, the more likely you can get just the right message to an audience. We don't have time to go into it further here, but know that it's there when you need it. For now, let's just keep our segment simple, and we'll click OK. And now we are ready to generate a new segment of our list that we could send emails to anytime we like. And we're finally ready to create a message. So let's click Messages. We will add a message. First thing we have to do is give the message a name. In this case, I'll pick a pre-made template. We have many of them in the system. But you can just as easily base your email on one you previously sent, or create your own HTML emails in another application such as Dreamweaver and import them into Lyris HQ for further editing or customization as necessary. I'll click Continue, and here is the basic email in our rich text editor. It's easy to make changes, so I can go in, easily change the text, and to drag graphics in from the image library. Remember that? I'll drag the logo in. Wow, that logo is way too big. No problem. I can either resize it by dragging the handles, or I can right-click on the graphic, choose Image Properties, and set the number of pixels manually. Ah, that fits a lot better. Now we select a list. You see my 30-something segment that I set up, but I'll just choose my basic mailing list. I'll give it a subject line. We could create a text-only version of this message if we desired, but we'll just choose to continue. We're now getting to one of the most powerful parts of Lyris HQ, and that's our proprietary tool called Email Advisor. Email Advisor is our built-in, fully featured email deliverability testing and monitoring tool. Lyris is literally the only email service provider on the market that provides a professional-level email deliverability tool. Plus, it's tightly integrated into your email workflow and 100% free for unlimited use. I'll show you more reports from this tool later. For now, I'll put my own email address in as a test recipient, and we will send off the test. Now at this point, we could either wait a few minutes for the initial test results, or I could leave to work on something else and return here to finish sending the actual message later. In this case, let's just keep going. I'll return to Email Advisor later on. Click Continue. And finally, we get to choose to send the actual message now or schedule it for a later time and date. I'll send it now. Your message has been scheduled and it's now being sent. And there it is. You probably noticed the gray box on top. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes for the thumbnail image of your email to appear. This has been Part 2 of the Lyris HQ Essential Edition walkthrough. Make sure you view Part 3, which reviews the following elements. Our Email Advisor tool, the only email deliverability testing and monitoring tool on the market today that is built in and has no charge for unlimited use. A quick overview of Lyris HQ reporting, and a discussion of the help, training, and support Lyris HQ Essential Edition users receive, which is second to none.